My interest in the power of thoughts stemmed when I was a little girl, approximately 5 or 6 years old. My mother had not too long left my father, who was abusive, and we lived in the back room of my grandmother's house. So, all three of us, my mother, myself, and my two brothers. And one day I was messing with something, throwing something up and down in my hand. And I can't remember what that object was, but I noticed that I wasn't, all of a sudden, I noticed that I was catching it and then I would miss it and I would catch it and I would miss it. And I thought that I'm going to say, it was just kind of automatic. What if I say I am great at reflexes? I have great reflexes. And all of a sudden, I just started saying that I have great reflexes, and I would throw it up and I would catch it. Great reflexes. I would throw it up and I would catch it. And when my mind started to waver or doubt if I had great reflexes, I would drop it. But I also kept testing that thought by throwing it up higher. And then I would catch it, even just throwing it up and just catching. I was like, wow, so very early on, I thought to myself, there has to be something, there's some power in the words that I say to myself. There's some connection there. And that curiosity actually stemmed from the experiences that I had in my life up to that point. My father and reporting his abuse and how he basically blamed me for telling the truth or questioned my authority. Why did I go tell something that was happening at home, a family secret that I didn't know was a secret? And then also too, my experience with this generational cycle of pain. So it was were a point where I saw it in someone else, and then I experienced it myself, another form of abuse, misuse. And so I just kept, thinking about thoughts and how they affect your experiences. And I remember that when I saw a family member one day and she told me what others thought of her, and they were calling her crazy. And I could almost like see, I don't know, maybe I was 8, 9, or 10, but I could literally see her struggling with this mask, wanting to take it off, but at the same time, wanting to put it on. Because often masks make us feel comfortable. If we hide behind this mask, then we can just be whatever someone wants us to be. But I saw the tear drop from her eye. I saw her watery eyes, and that she knew she was more than just crazy. And then that's when I saw the power of labels and how what we think can influence our identity, what we think about ourselves. Many of us are walking around with labels after an event, whether it's misuse of our body, someone calls us outside of our name stupid, we watch something, we hear about something potentially traumatic. Um, I don't know, whatever it is that you're going through, I'm definitely not trying to minimize it, but to say that I know, and many of us know, the concepts associated with abuse, misuse, violence in any form, the confusion that you feel, the betrayal that you feel, the frustration, the shame, the guilt, the anger, the doubt of oneself and about life. not wanting to trust others, to live in fear that what just happened is more likely to happen again. Someone else will do that to me. To have these daymares and nightmares of these recurrent thoughts that continue to what we believe hunt us for the rest of our lives. Many of us into our older age, 60, 70, 80 years old. We're walking around with these masks that we want to take them off, but we don't know how. And if we take them off, what does that say about us? Who are we? Do I live in this confusion, or do I just be comfortable in the identity, the label that I have allowed to for others to put on me, or eventually and honestly that I have put on myself? Because just because someone said something or to you or thinks a certain way about you doesn't make it true. It becomes our truth when we absorb it, when we take hold of it, when we place it on ourselves. We wonder if something is wrong with us, that I'm wrong. How could I have allowed this to happen to me? What have I done? We question ourselves. We demoralize ourselves. We can demean ourselves. We can dehumanize ourselves because of something that someone else did, some projection of pain that they didn't know how to address their emotions and feelings in a healthy way, but instead they projected them on you or someone that you know, or both, or many. But do know that I believe anything that does not belong in us will continue to try to seep its way out of us. It will do so in the form of recurrent thoughts. It will do so in the form of physical symptoms, palpitations, tachycardia, increased heart rate, headaches, GI discomfort, heartburn, indigestion, pain, numbness, tingling. It will do so because whatever does not belong to you will try to come out. And often we think our body is attacking us, but our body is trying to seek harmony. That is its role in being the vehicle for our divine message, for our reason for living. It knows what we're here for. And it is not to be the object of someone's pain, and it's not to personalize someone's pain, but it is to put that action in a perspective that allows you to continue to move forward in life in the healthiest way, to transcend your experiences. And it's not about using powerful words, it's about owning not only what happened to you, but also the truths that are in you. And that's what can help you to move forward in life. When we accept that what happened is not my identity, it is a totally separate experience. It is an experience. And it is in my faculty and my being and my power to choose the perspective. You have a choice in the perspective that you want to choose. And so these recurrent thoughts that you have will continue to rise just like foam from soda. If you shake a soda up and it wants to get out. It wants to float upward. It wants to move out of this confined space. Often we take things and we hold on to it because I need this, because it's given me some form of identity. I've lost my identity. I don't know who I am. And we're walking around with a misplaced purpose, a misplaced meaning about life. But when we address those thoughts, when we give them the right perspective, then you will notice that they start to go away, or they're not as powerful as they once seemed. You must master your thoughts instead of being mastered by them. We're talking about Child Abuse Prevention Month, which I believe should be Child Protection Month, which I believe should be Child Protection Day. But I know many of us are dealing with pain. And anytime that our mind is focused on something else, it makes us less present and less present for our lives. And living is about being present. It's about enjoying the moment. It's about learning from our experiences and putting them in the right perspective. That nothing a child does, a child can never influence an adult to do something, can never put an adult to do something. Nothing an adult does is a child's fault. Nothing an adult does is a child's fault. So, as children, we don't force people to do stuff to us. It is our innocence, is our beauty, our curiosity, our desire for love that often, unfortunately, gets taken advantage of. But we don't have to let all of that go because we're not at fault. We can keep our innocence, we can keep our beauty, we can keep our curiosity because it is our divine right to do so. It is your divine right to master your emotions and your feelings by knowing that nothing, no experience defines you. You don't have to wear the label or mask. You can be you. You can relearn who you are by spending time with yourself quietly, often in nature. Because for me, being quiet is an opportunity to reset your mind, to reset your body, to reset your spirit on the truths that are within you. And you will see that you are not here to be the object of someone's pain. That though we may experience things, we are not the experience. It is not to be taken personal, but it's another way, someone's way of addressing their pain that they're in. And we have the opportunity to show that although I experienced this, this is how you are supposed to respond. Holding your head up, refusing labels, refusing opinions, and living by the truth that is in you. And it's time, and it's patience, and it's a progress to heal from the inside out. But first, we must change. We must realize the power of our thoughts. And we must ask, are the thoughts that I'm having, am I having them because I have not addressed them? More than likely so. And understand that you are the master of your thoughts. And you have the power and the right to put them in a healthy perspective. We don't have to go through our lives focusing, remembering what someone did. We can instead go through our lives remembering who we are. This is Tamika Chambers with Create a Generational Love Cycle. I started doing this remembering who you are and just understanding that our thoughts, man, the Course in Miracles, when you read it, if you've ever read that book, says that our biggest fear is that we're afraid of how powerful we are. Paraphrasing. That within us is the link, and I believe it's our mind, the link to infinite intelligence, the link to resilience, the link to power, the link to compassion, the link to change our experiences based on our thoughts and our beliefs. If so far you have been having this belief that you are worthless, that you are dirty, that you deserve to be trampled on, think about where that has what has happened, what events have those thoughts brought to your life. And just imagine if you had a thought that I am divine, that I am bigger than my experiences, that I am powerful beyond measure, that I am here for a reason, a divine mission with divine gifts and talents. How can you change your life with the power of your thoughts? Imagine what your life could be like. We can't take away the past. The past has happened. But we can, you can help determine your present, how you will be right now, that will influence your future. As always, make this lifetime great. You are here for reasons. You have life, and you have the right to live your life. May you remember who you are.